we believe that gods live in heaven. If we do good deeds, then we will go to heaven after we die. This is mentioned in our mythological stories as well. There are many religions around the world, and everyone has their own concept of the gods. There was once a time when humans believed that Earth is on the center of the universe and sun and moon revolves around the Earth. Due to the science and technology, this myth was proven wrong. Now, due to the development of science and technology, humans are able to inspect other planets as well. Still, science and technology has not solved lots of mysteries of the Earth. If we look at the history of the ancient civilization, there are lots of things which is still very hard to believe. The ancient civilization seems like they have some sort of technology that we are still unaware of. Let us all assume that the technology of the Earth will be very advanced in the coming future. Human will create a spaceship that can travel as fast as the speed of light, and this spaceship is sent to a planet similar to the Earth and reach the orbits of the planets that is very similar to the Earth. Let us assume that this spaceship is very big. As soon as the spaceship fly over the orbit of this newly found planet, they get there by using flying machines like planes and helicopters. As soon as the astronauts from the Earth reach to the newly planet, they see living beings similar to human but much less developed. The people of the newly found planet are still in the Stone Age and hunt animals with the weapons made up of woods and stones. They are intelligent but are technologically primitive and far more underdeveloped as compared to the humans from the Earth. The people from the new planet worship sun and moon as their god, as they are able to hunt animals due to the light of sun in the day and due to the light of moon in the night. They worship the thunder and rain as well. As soon as the astronauts from the Earth reach this new planet, the people from this newly underdeveloped planet were all shocked and scared, as they have never seen such huge planes or helicopters flying in the sky before. They have never heard such noises produced by the planes and helicopters. They will see the astronauts from the Earth as divine, as they came from the sky. The arrival of the astronauts in flying machines will be incredibly magical to the people from the newly found planet. They have not understand the technology from the Earth. They are seeing mysterious clothes worn by the astronauts from the Earth, which was basically a spacesuit. As soon as the night falls on the newly planet, the people from this newly planet get shocked more because the astronauts were using bright lights. These underdeveloped people from the planets have never seen such bright lights ever before. They are all talking this as some sort of magic. Whatever the astronauts were doing in the newly found planet, the people from the planet are seeing this as some sort of magic. The astronauts can kill a huge animal with just one single bullet. The most importantly, the astronaut can descend from the sky. The underdeveloped people from this newly found planet starts to worship the astronaut from the Earth as their gods, because the astronauts were doing things that they could not ever imagine in their dreams as well. As time passed, the astronauts from the Earth are studying this newly found planet, and in the process, the astronauts have learned the language spoken by the people in this newly found planet. The astronauts make big laboratories for their research in this planet and even teaches the underdeveloped people how to be more civilized and how to live a better life. The astronauts help the underdeveloped people in many ways, like in the field of astronomy, mathematics, agriculture, engineering, and many more. Some of the underdeveloped people from this newly found planet are chosen by the astronauts and are given the communication device by which the chosen underdeveloped people stay in contact with the astronauts. The astronauts even have sex with few women from the underdeveloped planet and produces offspring which are more genetically strong and advanced. The astronauts sent from the Earth completes their mission in this newly found planet and returns back to Earth. The astronauts promise the underdeveloped people that they will return soon. The astronauts leave their marks in that planet which cannot be understood by the underdeveloped people. The underdeveloped people starts to discuss all the magical work done by the astronauts and passes this story from one generation to another generation and believe them as a god and starts to worship them. They start to make their holy places in all the places that was previously visited by the astronauts. The people start to keep record of the events done by the astronauts by writing, and these books were considered as holy books. They start to draw the events as well as start to worship the astronauts as their gods. They describe the destructive weapons used by the astronauts as well. Slowly, after thousands of years, the visit from the astronauts to their planet starts to become legend, myth, and fantasy. As time passed with the development of science and technology, after many thousand years, the people from this planet now started to explore outside their planet as well, but still they have lots of unsolved mystery about the events done by the astronauts many thousand years ago in their planet. Now, let us come to the reality, and let us replace the underdeveloped people from this planet to the people of the Earth from our own planet. If humans from the Earth can become an ancient astronauts on other planet in the future, so isn't it possible the ancient astronaut visited on Earth 1,000 years ago? Has the same event occurred in the Earth many thousand years ago? Is it possible that the gods mentioned in the old texts were misinterpreted or misunderstood flesh and blood extraterrestrial beings whom our ancestors thought were absolutely divine? Who knows? Talking about the real events that occurred in the Earth as well, when tribal societies come into contact with Western civilization for the first time, the tribes people saw the Western manufactured goods like radios, phones, helicopters, aeroplanes, and many more. The tribes people did not know how the manufactured goods work nor how they were made. The tribe people started to worship the Western people. Some people even made the aeroplanes, helicopters made up of wood and hay and even worshipped them as their god. In Hindu text, it has mentioned flying Vimana or a flying chariot. The Puspaka Vimana of Ramayana in the epic Ramayana, the sun god Surya, Indra, and several other Vedic deities are transported by the flying world chariots pulled by animals, usually horses. In Hindu texts, these gods were all physical beings with flesh and blood and were described as being similar to humans. The word Viman still today means aeroplanes for Hindus. Also, for many Hindu gods, they are described as being blue in color. The early depiction of Ganesh shows his trunk as some kind of pipe that helps him in respiration. The sky people was found at Mayan ruins in Tikal, Guatemala, and resembles an astronaut in the space helmet. This was made 1,000 years before. Prehistoric monuments like Stonehenge, constructed from 3000 BC to 2000 BC in England, and the Maui of Easter Island are filled with mysterious traits. How could human beings without sophisticated tools or the knowledge of engineering, craft and transport such incredible structures? All these monuments, places and weird occurrences that had happened in the past are truly amazing considering the technology that they had back then. Really almost too amazing to people that these people built them. Drawn into the highland in Peru, Nazca Desert, are a series of an ancient depiction stretching more than 50 miles known as the Nazca Lines. Because of their vast size, the lines can only even be clearly seen from high in the sky. They were created between 500 BCE and 500 CE. But why would the Nazca people spend so much time on something that has no apparent purpose? Is it possible that the figures were used to guide spaceships when they landed and the lines were used as runways? Helicopter hieroglyphs at Abydos, Egypt, which are argued to depict flying crafts, dates back from 1290 BC to 1279 BC. The hieroglyphs have been interpreted as an out-of-plane artifact depicting a helicopter as well as other examples of modern technology. The drawings of Falcomania near the Central Alps in northern Italy are believed to be 10,000 years old and appear to show two men wearing helmets with strange weapons, providing the possibility that ancient astronauts might have arrived on Earth. White lines also appear to come from their heads, with some suggesting it depicts the lights built into the helmets. It is possible that these drawings were made by local peoples, recording what they were witnessing at that time. One of the things to consider is how ancient civilization would refer to God as powerful beings that were superior to man. It's possible that these in fact weren't God but aliens who possess advanced technology that may have made them seem godly. It doesn't seem impossible that these people would worship these legendary gods that came from the sky and seemed so superior. So, were they actually aliens? Thank you.